Hello, I'm Nako Kwabla, and welcome to our very first episode of the Inclusive Angle podcast. Now, this is one of many exciting series to come. Inclusive Angle is a monthly newsletter on Substack, recognizing the work of journalists in Africa and those abroad who are reporting and producing content for the global audience. They are helping us to understand the stories in Africa. Our very first guest today is an award-winning multimedia journalist and a social media strategist from Ghana. He is currently a digital journalist and social media manager at Africanews and Euronews in Lyon, France. That's where he's joining us from, and he created the Africanews Debate. Well, as the name suggests, it delves into the headlines and current affairs happening on the continent, but he will tell us more. Kwabena Adu Gyamfi, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Nicole. That was a very exciting introduction. I didn't know that you had all this profile about me. I mean, that was a well-researched
Well, I do
introduction.
my work.
Thank you very much. Oh, of
Akwaba.
course. I mean, who doesn't know Nako Kwabla? Multiple award-winning journalist, a senior journalist like Nako Kwabla.
Wait. Today is it's on you. So let's dive right in. Tell
Mhm.
us, Africa News Debates. Well, the name is very suggestive, but then you created this show. Could you give us a brief background on what it's all about?
Honestly, the whole idea for the debate started from a very simple place, I must say. The African News team wanted a smarter way to engage our audience without spending money. I was talking with a former boss about how we could tap into something big, something people were already excited about. AFCON was coming up, and I suggested we use that momentum to host a Twitter space because I remember at the time, now X, Twitter had just introduced Twitter space.
Yeah.
So I felt it was a good opportunity for us to ride on it. It felt like a perfect way to position African news as a strong voice in those conversations, grow our audience, and do it using nothing more than just the internet and our socials. By mid 2024, it kept bothering me because I knew it was a good idea. I didn't want it to just disappear. So I brought it back to the team. This time, the discussion evolved, which I was very happy about. Instead of doing only Twitter Space, the team suggested turning it into a full video format,
Mm,
something more structured, more visual, and something that could even go live on TV in the future.
I
And
see.
yes, that's really how the African News Debate was born. It started as a simple, cost-free engagement idea, and it grew into a full program with the potential of becoming a flagship show for the brand.
Let's get into how you choose topics to debate on because it's quite a big continent.
Mhm.
Every day something new is happening. It's never a dull moment when it comes to news.
All right, so we look at a number of factors. We first of all look at the topic, what is trending. Um, we also look at the platforms that we are broadcasting on because we broadcast live on YouTube, we broadcast live on Facebook and on X.
Mm,
So we try to keep the topics as close to people's everyday realities as possible. So we look at issues that are shaping conversations across Africa, like you said, that have a wider global impact. I mean, topics that can be anything from elections, security, migration, the cost of living crisis, which we have tackled before, technology, climate, and even cultural shifts where necessary. So the main idea is to pick something that Africans are actively talking about, especially on socials, something that's already trending, and something that will matter a few days or even weeks after the show airs. If it's a topic that makes people want to join the conversation, argue their point, or even learn something new, then of course, for us or as a producer, it's a good fit for us. So we don't limit ourselves to one theme. Anything that affects Africans at home or abroad, and anything where Africa's voice is needed in the global conversation, of course, that's what we Last episode, we spoke about the mass abductions that happened in Nigeria.
So no topic is off limit.
No, not at all.
Now let's talk about the guests you bring on the show. We've had this issue, not I wouldn't say it's an issue, but probably worldview that you don't get resource people to or expert to talk to on issues in Africa. So you
Mhm.
have somebody in Europe or in Asia or in the Americas, and you're like, wait, we don't have people here on the continent who can talk about it.
I've heard that debate before in the past, but I've not really encountered it. I mean, the
Mm,
challenge that I've had with um experts has to do with on the show, we try as much as possible to have a balanced panel.
mm,
We normally do a panel of about a maximum of five. And initially, we realized that most of our panelists were men,
I
and we
see.
didn't like the idea. So we decided to make it more balanced for us to have at least two females on the panel so that we would have like that women voice on it. But the challenge was that most of the women didn't want to talk. And I
Mm,
didn't know why. We had to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. It was difficult initially, but then over the past few months, I've been able to build a strong database where I have women, and I make a conscious effort to ensure that we always have at least one woman on the panel. So even sometimes when I go ask, I specifically go in like, you know what, I want a woman.
mm.
The question you asked may rather be, don't we have enough women experts on the continent
In your
to
case.
join the
I
panel?
I
And then,
think we do. I think we do, but the
hmm,
issue is a bit complex with the women. I have been in situations where there's this social thing
yeah,
about
yeah,
a woman who is upfront, who is
hmm,
well-spoken, articulate,
hmm.
talking about issues. I think it's a more complex situation you have to get into some other time. Get some people on to debate this issue. Back
Not to
home,
cut you in, not
yeah.
to cut you in, Paul, but then interestingly, all the women that we've had on the show so far have
Yeah.
been amazing.
They
You
are.
know,
That's the thing. They are. But
mhm,
sometimes I think it's some unknown pressure from society, family that they have to, navigate. I don't also get it, but I'm just using my experience over the years that, look at the women that have been very successful in Africa. The top
mhm,
women, what names haven't we given them? Iron Lady, look at Her Excellency Ella Johnson Sirleaf.
yeah,
So many
yeah.
names we give them, like women who have been at the forefront
Margaret
of
Thatcher
things.
and all of that.
Yes, this is what we call them. I'm glad it's working. They are coming on. And the thing is, I think
Yeah,
also when they see other women coming on, that's when they also
yeah,
open up. Oh, okay,
yeah.
you had this person on. Let me
Mhm,
also come
mhm,
on. But
mhm,
that's a very
mhm.
real issue you talked about.
Yeah.
How about the audience? Because they also have to pitch in what you're doing. It's not just about the guest talking.
You know, I mentioned early on that the whole idea for the debate when we initially started or we wanted to go Twitter space was mainly to engage with our audience. So
Hmm.
our audience have been the primary focus of
Yep.
the entire program. Yes. So the show is on the first Wednesday of every month.
Hmm.
Now, by Monday, we would have already that's Monday prior to the Wednesday where we go live. You would have already decided on the topic that we'll be discussing. So we design creative materials, put on social media to inform them that this is the topic that we are discussing and what is their thought on it. So we even ask for their opinion, their comment on the topic even before we go live. So we give them 2 days, so let me say 3 full days. We throw these questions at our guests for them. This is what the people are saying. This is the comments that they are bringing in. So it's not only the questions, but then it's also comment about the
Yeah.
topic. And trust me, we've had some very intelligent and insightful comment from our audience. They are like the lifeline of the
Hmm.
entire conversation. Without them, it would just be a boring conversation of experts. But we try to have a 360 and all angle conversation, which of course includes our audience.
I see. Did you always have that dream to work for an international channel that would broadcast stuff on Africa?
I had always dreamt of working with an international news organization,
Hmm.
but I didn't think it was going to be African focused. You know, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be Africa, like only Africa. I felt, or I was thinking it was going to be more than Africa, like global, more global than Africa.
Yeah.
You understand? But of course, I mean, it's not bad because, I mean, in the next few years, you know where Africa is heading towards. So
Hmm.
if you get to know more about Africa and you are reporting on African stories, it broadens your understanding. And yeah, it built you up. I'm happy to be where I am today.
Sure. Let me tease your mind on this issue. What do you think of the shift to having more Africans in Africa and then even abroad in international bureaus? It's not been a gradual shift, but like a major shift.
I'm also very happy with the fact that now we have most of these international media houses now have some of them even have like African offices where they have Africans telling our own stories. Because we've always complained that if we don't tell our stories, who
Who
else
will?
would?
Exactly.
Exactly. And of course, you might get people telling our stories, but would they tell it the way it's supposed to be told? You understand? One crucial part, even the names, would they be able to mention the names the way they are supposed to mention them? I am Ghanaian. I mean, there are certain names sometimes you even hear some people mention names like people who have never lived in Ghana. I mean, those days, years back before I joined Africa News, you sit back, you watch some international news organizations, and you hear how they are pronouncing some Ghanaian names, and you ask yourself, how? Where did
I'll
they
give
get
you
this from?
I'll give you a classic one. Asamoah Gyan. Some people still say Asamoah
Guyana.
Gyan.
You get it, you understand, but that is the part of the reasons for which it would be good, especially since you are broadcasting to an international audience.
Yeah,
You are not broadcasting to just British people or just Americans. You are also part of your audience is also live in Africa. And let's not forget that news is not just about delivering information, but it is also about educating the people. So mentioning Jan as Ghan, should I call it misinformation or disinformation?
I mean it's an exciting development to see our fellow journalists on the field, in the studios, in the control rooms,
Yeah.
doing the work.
And let's not also forget that the other side of the coin, it's also a way for the media houses to also cut costs. Because if
Yeah,
you have a Ghanaian journalist in Ghana or like a Kenyan journalist in Kenya reporting on a Kenyan issue, it is better that way than flying someone all the way from,
yeah,
let's
which
say,
is
from
very expensive. Yeah,
which is very expensive. I mean, talk about the hotel, the flight, and all of those. You might get sponsors, but it's still expensive, the insurance and all of that. So it's much easy in terms of even the economic aspect of it. You know,
yeah,
it
that's
helps the
true.
media house to save money. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we should go on further, but this has a time slot and it has to end. Kwabena Medasi, which is thank you in Akan. Thank you for coming on the
Um,
show.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Africanews Debate airs every first Wednesday of the month. You can also watch previous shows on the channel's social media pages. I hope you had a wonderful time with family and friends this festive season. May the glad tidings of this season spread peace and love throughout the world. Join us again on the next episode.